where did the cannabis we know today come from? Its wild beginnings remain unknown.
Designer drugs are synthetic substances crafted to mimic the effects of legal drugs while circumventing legal restrictions. These compounds are often developed by modifying the chemical structures of existing drugs, leading to the creation of new substances that may not be explicitly banned by law. This practice is primarily driven by the desire to exploit legal loopholes, offering alternative to the traditional illicitly substances. As the landscape of drug use evolves, understanding the implications of designer drugs, particularly penethylamine, becomes increasingly vital. The purpose of designer drugs. The primary aim of designer drugs is to deliver similar psychoactive effect to user while avoiding the legal repercussions associated with the traditional illicitly drugs. These substances can offer a range of experiences from euphoria and stimulation to altered perceptions of reality. The development of designer drugs is often motivated by recreational use, medical research, or the pursuit of novel psychoactive experiences, highlighting the complex motivations behind their popularity.
My name is Anne and I just graduated from my PhD. And for this research, I've been looking into the effects of drugs abuse and new psychoactive substances on the brain. And this is, of course, of high interest because a lot of people are using these drugs. And because there are 900 of these drugs which are not researched at all and are still legal because the regulatory authorities didn't illegalize it yet. We didn't use any volunteers or any live animals. We used either cells from animals or cells from humans. And what we did in very basic terms is that we looked at the cells before exposure to the drugs and we looked at the cells after exposure to the drugs and we compared the effects. Yeah, we had a lot of results. For instance, we saw that all drugs had an effect on the activity of these brain cells and the concentration at which these compounds had an effect differed between compounds. So based on the effect concentrations, we could estimate which compounds were most toxic and had the most harmful effects. We've also been looking into why different users have their different experiences, and that's often thought to have an effect due to your metabolism, so how quickly do you metabolize your drug and you excrete it, but we now also saw that it could be because you have a mutation in your DNA, which is completely normal, but you have already from birth, and it can change your transporter, for instance, in the brain to one of your brain targets on which the drug will have an effect. For instance, we saw that one mutation in the transporter causes that you need to have 20 times higher doses of cocaine to have the same effect. But of course, if you do this, you up your dose and up your dose, then you will have heart problems and you will die before you reach your effect on your transporter. There are many side effects associated with drug use. The smaller ones are, for instance, hallucinations, not intended hallucinations, of course, then but also hypothermia, so an increase in body temperature, but also an increase in heart rate, blood pressure. And it can go from very small to very bad side effects, for instance. You can go into psychosis, in a coma, die, have a heart attack, brain ischemia, heart ischemia. So my advice would be, if you do want to use these drugs, please be careful and think about these risks and be informed as much as possible. Because even if your friend takes the drugs and is fine, it doesn't mean you will be fine too.
Understanding penethylamines. Penethylamines are a broad class of compounds that include various substances, each with distinct effects naturally occurring in our human body. Serving as neurotransmitters, penethylamine can also be synthesized in laboratories. Notable examples of designer penethylamines includes 2C-B and 2C-I. And methamphetamine, these compounds are particularly interesting. It's because they are often engineered to mimic the effects of controlled substances while evading the legal security. The chemical structure. The core structure of phenethylamines consists of phenyl ring or a 6-carbon atomic ring attached to an ethylamine side chain. This basic configuration allows for considerable chemical modifications leading to the different pharmacological effects. The ability to easily alter their structure is the key or the reason the pentylamines are categorized as designer drugs, making them attractive to those seeking new and diverse psychoactive experiences.
The effects of penethylamines can vary significantly depending on the specific compound and dosage. Commonly reported effects include number 1, stimulation. Many penethylamines increase energy levels and alertness, making them popular choices for recreational use. Number 2, euphoria. Users often report enhanced mood and feelings of happiness, which can lead to increased social interaction. Number 3, hallucinations. Certain compounds like 2CB can induce visual or auditory distortions, providing unique and often intense experiences. Number 4, empathy and sociability. Some users experience heightened feelings of connection to others, contributing to their appeal in social settings.
Risks associated with phenethylamines. While some phenethylamines are sought after for their psychoactive properties, they carry significant risks. These include: first, unpredictable effects. Due to the variability in individual reactions and the potencies of the compounds, users may encounter unexpected and potentially harmful effects. Second, health risks. The potential for overdose along with negative psychological effects and toxicity poses serious health concerns. Third, legal issues. May phenethylamines are subjected to legal restrictions and leading to the risk of criminal charges for both users and distributors. The ever-changing legal landscape adds additional layers of complexity to their use.
Phenylethylamine, or PEA, suggested dosage for cognitive benefit is 500 milligrams up to 3 times per day. PEA has a half-life of 5 to 10 minutes, but the effects of PEA can be extended by using it with an amino B inhibitor. If you do use a potent MAOI like selegiline, make sure that you keep the dose low, like 2.5 milligrams, 2.5 milligrams, or you're in danger of inhibiting MAOA as well. More on the cheese effect next. Now, dosing more than recommended is not a good idea because you'll likely feel jittery, irritable, and get a headache, and feel nausea, and very possibly force your heart rate.
Phenethylamines exemplify the characteristics of designer drugs, demonstrating how easily they can be modified to mimic the effects of controlled substances while sidestepping legal restrictions. Although they offer novel psychoactive experiences, the associated risks highlight the necessity for caution and awareness. As new compounds continue to emerge, understanding the science behind these substances, recognizing the potential for harm, and staying informed about the evolving legal landscape is crucial for anyone considering their use.
I've heard of some liquid thing that is just like can't be safe.
That's exactly what this is. Instead of a bath salt, pill, or powder, the new synthetic drug is liquid and kids drink it. It's called phenethylamine, or more commonly, N-Bomb, 25I, Pandora, and Vortex.
I would never try it, and I don't know what would drive kids to try it, but something is.
Last January, 4 kids here at GVSU overdosed on the drug. Target 8 obtained the police report that says an RA reported seeing a male with no clothes on throwing things, refusing to open the door. Once they got inside, the students resisted arrest, and one student's body was covered with cuts and blood. There was also blood on the campus room's walls and mirrors. This is typical behavior for users of this synthetic drug. 19 cases have been reported so far here in Michigan, including those 4. Kids buy it off the internet, then take it to parties or raves. The state hopes making this new synthetic drug illegal will keep it out of
In a
other
world
students.
where the lines between legal and illegal substance can blur, it is vital to prioritize safety and knowledge. Stay informed, stay safe, know the risk.